Mr. Vice President, I believe you'll be impressed with our presentation today. Our team of experts has spent the last 7 weeks learning about different aspects of how we might make our company successful in Poland. This presentation will give you a high-level overview of the information we have gathered. The Hofstede Cultural Dimensions Analysis tool defines what values influence culture. There are 6 categories analyzed by the tool that are displayed on the graphic. These categories help define similarities and differences between a country's culture. Between Poland and the US, there are 3 areas where they differ the most. They are in uncertainty avoidance, individualism, and indulgence. Uncertainty avoidance shows that Poland is not as willing to try new things as the US. The US is a highly innovative country. As a result, there are not as many inventions or new things that come from Poland as in the US. Individualism shows that the US is a more I-driven country, while Poland is driven with a sense of we and team orientation. The indulgence scores show the US is focused on having fun more often than Poland. US culture is a daily play hard, while Poland is more of a daily work hard culture. Poles are very passionate about their history. They want others to learn and understand it. In 966, Duke Mieszko I is the founder of the Polish state. The land of Poland is very important to its people. The land of Poland once included more area than it does now. In 1795, Poland disappears from the map of Europe. Over the years, Poles tried to regain their independence but were not successful. At the end of World War I, Poland is restored as an independent country with much less land. In 1939, Germany and the Soviet Union invade Poland. During this occupation, the Poles were treated bad. Germany took aim at the Jews of Poland and built concentration camps. At the end of World War II, Poland again is to be established. During the war, at least 1.5 million Poles were sent to German territories and sent to forced labor. Hundreds of thousands of Poles were also placed in concentration camps. The U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum estimates Nazis killed at least 1.9 million non-Jewish Poles. 3 million Jewish Poles were murdered. They lost more land also to the Soviet Union, but did gain some back from Germany at the end of the war. In 1947, Poland becomes a communist satellite state of the Soviet Union and has much unrest. In May 1989, the Polish government fell with the Soviet Union. Poland has become a member of the North American Treaty Organization and of the EU. Poland has allied with Western Europe in hopes that they will have some protection from another takeover. 89.8% of the population of Poland is Roman Catholic today. They are a people that have been through many hardships, seen much change and uncertainty. Their culture is shaped by all these events. The people do carry a pessimistic attitude, but they have strong work ethics. They are focused on their families as a society. They want to be a people where they can practice their religion, conduct business, and continue to build strong families. Poland's negotiating tactics are based on attitudes, styles, sharing information, bargaining, and making decisions. Poles are known to be direct and aggressive during negotiations, hoping to receive the outcomes they want to happen. Although they may be aggressive, they do have the desire to find the best fit for themselves as well as for the buyer. Information is not given to the buyer or others unless there has been trust established. With this trust, the Poles will then bargain to receive the outcome wanted. With this, they make a decision mostly in group settings. The government and politics section as a whole discusses the political aspects of Poland and various features that could make conducting business in the country a little bit difficult. Poland's government is similar to the United States with the 3 branches of government and an elected president that has been in office since 2015. As a company, we aren't too concerned with doing business in Poland. However, we do recognize that Poland has had disagreements with the European Union. Nevertheless, amidst this disagreement, their economy is continuing to soar. Our main concern within this disagreement is any action the Polish government may take in order to continue their stand against the EU. Foreign direct investment in Poland is incredibly attractive, and more companies are looking to Poland as a safe and stable country to set up their business. With low labor rates and an ever-growing economy, these numbers are incredibly encouraging. Economic Freedom Index is a report using 12 categories to measure economic freedom for 186 countries. The categories are displayed on the graphic. Each one is graded on a scale from 0 to 100 with an average at the 12. Then a country is given an overall score. This tool can help identify potential issues and successes in countries for businesses. This data is linked to how people in a country feel about their freedom to live and conduct business. A score of 80 or more would classify a country as being an economically free country. Poland scored 68.5, and they are a moderately free country with a world rank of 44. The United States scored 75.7, and they are mostly free country ranking at 17. From our analysis of this data, we learned that we can be successful in Poland but need to be aware of a few things. Our business must be good at communicating in the local language and knowing the local culture. This will build strong relationships with the Poles. We can't bring American culture, but we should bring a business that can adapt to the Polish culture. The Poles will accept it if we are helping their local economy and people. We need to know the laws and be prepared to build a labor force. It may take some time and patience to deal with the local judiciary system and the labor rules. Starting a business in Poland has many requirements. The first is to notarize a company agreement. Second is to deposit paid-in capital to a bank. The banks require the company's articles of association with mandatory certificates. Third is to register for taxes. Fourth, register employees with the Social Security Agency within 7 days of their first day of work. Poland has had an increase in court cases on contract enforcement. This has increased 65% from 2005 until 2011. So as far as conclusions, cautions, and recommendations, we recommend preparing paperwork ahead of time. This will help expedite the process. On average, it takes 37 days to establish a business in Poland. Knowing this and being prepared with paperwork and capital money, it will help the formation of our business be established in a quick manner. Most favored nation creates fair trade by restricting any nation from offering a trade with the same value at a different price to different buyers. MFN requires that all buyers be treated equally and given fair deals. World Trade Organization is a global group that manages free trade and trade rules between nations. The WTO acts as a forum to house trade negotiations and settles trade disputes and disagreements among countries. Poland has been a member of WTO since 1995 and is a free, equal trade country. They are also a member of the EU and follow all EU trade laws, rules, and regulations. Tariffs and non-tariffs are two types of trade barriers. Tariffs are the most common and are used by governments. They are taxes placed on imports as a means of discouraging the import of goods. The average tariff rate between the EU and the US is about 3%. Non-tariff related barriers are other restrictions placed on trade. Poland is very open to trade. Poland's non-tariff related barriers are all in connection with the EU barriers. Dairy and food products would not be wise to import into Poland because of high tariff fees. Top imports into Poland are cell phones, aircraft engines, engine parts, and petroleum. Those have lower tariff rates are in high demand. As a whole, Poland as a country looks like a great place for a company to set down roots and get started. They have a few restrictions for foreign businesses, and the restrictions they do have are something that we feel confident in being able to work around and become successful. Poland's incentives to attract foreign direct investment is encouraging and shows that their government wants these new companies to succeed and help grow the Polish economy. Our only concern is obtaining property in order to develop our company. The Poles are protective of their land, and more often than not, they lean towards giving the land to their citizens than foreign companies. However, with the tax breaks and government assistance the Poles offer, we believe that this country is the best place for our company to get started and help the country grow and become even more successful. Purchasing power parity, gross domestic product, and gross national income are tools that provide indications of how successful we will be in the future. GDP has increased and shows that Poland's economy is thriving. Businesses will thrive as well. Current inflation rate is the highest it has been all year and averages 2.52%. Poland's business lending rate is a little bit higher than their general lending rate. The business lending rate is 3.44%, which is incredibly encouraging as it is 1.5% lower than in the United States. Unemployment rate has decreased. We will do well in Poland and have few concerns within their current economic conditions. The Polish zloty is fairly constant. Since joining the EU in 2004, the economy has remained consistent with only small fluctuations. Over the past 5 years, it has seen very little fluctuation. The graphic shows in US dollars a minimum value of $3.01 and the maximum of $4.22, with the average being $3.58. With a range of just $1.21, there is not a lot of variance in the value of the zloty in comparison to the US dollar. We would highly suggest doing business with Poland because of the little variance in currency value. There will always be little bit of fluctuation, but it is normal and healthy for an economy. Fluctuation occurs in times of new trade, political unrest, unemployment, but history shows the zloty will recover. Poland's consumption on imports has increased, therefore exporting from Poland has decreased. This makes foreign trade difficult. As a result, companies have had difficulty expanding, which is causing a shortage in the labor field. Though there is a shortage in the labor field, Poland has had changes in the legislative as of October 2015. These changes have affected how companies are able to develop or manage their finances. From these modifications, the greatest impact has been the attitudes of investors towards the new command in finance and development policies. Increased volatility of exchange rates has caused external perception of Poland to change. Energy is in high demand in Poland. It may be difficult for our business to receive the energy needed to establish and maintain our business. Higher energy prices will be a cost that needs consideration. Poland's highways and railroads will help our company transport our products. There may be some difficulty using Poland's highways as only 2/3 of them are paved. Poland's government has approved a mega airport to be built. This will help transport our products internationally and in a timely manner. Poland is importing more than exporting, and we caution that this could affect our ability to engage in foreign trade. Without exporting, we may not be able to make enough profit to keep our business running. Also, with their infrastructure, we will need roads, air capabilities, and to ship products as well as receive supplies. We recommend to establish our facility close to the new mega airport. With the demand for energy, we recommend that we establish a budget for extra costs. As a member of the European Union, Poland is part of all 40 of their trade agreements. 12 of those agreements are both bilateral and for goods and services, making them the best agreements for our company to look at. There are also many trade agreements still in the works. One of those is between the United States and the EU, and it could be of great use to our company. This new trade agreement is the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, or TTIP. This agreement will create easier trade of American-made products with EU nations. This agreement will help to build American-made products and give them a more competitive edge in the worldwide market. TTIP will focus on increasing compatibility, transparency in trade, and investing. Also, it will promote health, safety, and environment protection. The US and EU are world leaders, and they set patterns for the rest of the world to follow. Mr. Vice President, we would like to make 3 recommendations of viable products we feel would be successful for our business to import and sell in Poland. Those are natural gas, analog watches, and milk carousels. The reasons why we feel natural gas would be good is because Poland has been dependent on Russia for their natural gas supply. Russia uses that dependency in a negative way, which hurts the Polish economy from time to time. Poland would prefer to abandon this dependency. This creates a demand that we could fill. We would import it from the United States as there's a large supply. There are no barriers that would keep us from making this import a successful venture in Poland. Our second product idea to consider are analog watches. After further examination of the market in Poland for analog watches, we found that tradition and price beat smartwatches that are available, such as the Apple Watch. We would specifically create a series of analog watches that would cater to the customer who want the look of an expensive watch but doesn't want to pay the price of one. Analog watches would cost less to manufacture, as we would not have to incorporate the technology that goes into making one when compared to a smartwatch. We would import parts and assemble them in Poland. There will be no issues of customs and tariff requirements. Our last potential product, and perhaps the most lucrative of all of our choices, is the milking carousel. We are most excited about this product because there isn't a product like it currently in Poland. Poland is the 5th largest producer of milk in the European Union. With the milking carousel, we would make Poland the largest producer of milk in the EU, which would be good for Poland's economy. A milk carousel is not only economically efficient, it is also time and labor efficient. The milk carousel would need to be imported from the United States, but the construction would occur in Poland, which would also create jobs. With the milk carousel, a dairy farmer could get the milk from the cow to delivery in a much quicker fashion. Our closest competition would be in the United States. Mr. Vice President, thank you for your time and your consideration in our presentation.